I get this question a lot about how can I stop spinning. I've done an episode on triggers, so I encourage you to go back and watch that. But triggers tend to lead us to what we call spiraling. It's that nonstop circle of asking the same question in your mind over and over, which all it does is feed your anxiety and make the trigger response even worse. So we're going to talk about spiraling and how to not do that. So stay tuned. Let's see what we can find out. You know, spiraling is something that every single person, I'm sure, knows this experience. It's when something triggers you, and you don't even have to have PTSD to do this. You remember something. Anyone ever sat up at 2 o'clock in the morning and realized you didn't do something really important you were supposed to do? And then all of a sudden your brain kicks into full gear. You can't go back to sleep and you're just spinning over and over. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot to do that. What am I going to do? What's going to happen? You know, and you worry about the absolute worst case scenario and you get absolutely no sleep that night, only to find out the next day it wasn't a big deal. Right? That's happened to me more times than I can tell you. And that's exactly what we do to ourselves when we begin in that downward spiral. And it's really hard to get out of it once you're in it. When you recognize it early on, you can kind of scooch out of it. But man, when you're in it, it's like a whirlwind and it's really hard to get out of it. So let me explain a little bit about what we're doing to ourselves when that happens, especially those of us in affair recovery. Because our spirals typically focus on what if questions. What if he's still seeing her? What if he's lying to me? What if she contacts him again? What if he's not telling me everything? We have all of these what if questions, and we tend to just spiral like crazy over these questions because we're so afraid of him doing it again, right? We're afraid that we're going to be hurt again and we don't want to go through that trauma again. So our body just keeps telling us, our mind keeps saying, yeah, but what if he does it again? Oh my gosh, what if he does? Now, some of this is our PTSD. We can blame some of this on the fact that there are parts of our brain that are overactive due to PTSD. So some of this we cannot help. We will start that process whether we like it or not. But. A lot of this is our own doing. We let fear take control. And what is fear and anxiety? Anxiety especially is us worrying about stuff we have absolutely no control over. Like absolutely no control. So if you don't have control over it and you can't do anything about it, why are we staying up all night obsessing over it when there's nothing we can do to stop it? So what the spiral and what these what if questions start doing is it's tricking us into thinking that somehow, some way, if we just keep thinking about it over and over, we can stop it from happening. Like we can keep ourselves from being traumatized again if we just keep it in the forefront. Like somehow, if he does cheat on us again, if we're in the middle of thinking the absolute worst anyway, it's not going to hurt as bad. Y'all, it is. It doesn't matter if you're thinking about it right now or you're not thinking about it at all. When it happens again, it will be just as traumatizing as when it happened the first time. Promise you that because I've been there. Okay? It doesn't matter. So here's a suggestion a counselor gave me once, and this was a huge help for me. This takes practice, and I'm not going to make it sound like it's super easy to do because it's really not. He told me to answer my own what if questions. All right? What if he's still seeing her? What are you going to do? All right? So what if he's not told you everything? What do you want? Do you want to ask him about it? What do you want to do? So basically what he's doing is he's taking me out of the what ifs and he's putting me into a now what. So I want to say that again. He's taking me from the what ifs to a now what. Now what that does is it takes me out of the spiral and into reality and what I can control. I cannot control what my husband does. I can't control what the other woman does. I can control me, and I can control how I'm going to respond if something happens. So I did. I sat down and I answered my own questions. Part of this exercise is building up trust in yourself. A lot of our fear comes from we have very little trust in anything, including our own ability to survive another trauma. We don't think we can do it. We feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do this again. I just don't want myself to be put in that position again, which is completely understandable. But if we can trust ourselves to know, all right, if this happens again, I'm out. If this happens again, this is how I'm going to respond. If he's not telling me everything and I find out later, here's what I'm going to do. When you have a plan, then you actually know there are things you can control. So in your mind, it actually tells you, yeah, you can't control this, but you can control that. So what would you do? Now, it's not easy, and sometimes it's painful. Maybe that's a better way to put it. It's painful to actually think of the worst case scenario and come up with a plan. I totally get it. It's so painful. But as you do this, you're pulling yourself out of an even more toxic spiral. So give that a shot. Think about your answers to your what ifs. Pull yourself out of that. Don't let fear drive your train. It's not worth it, because fear is never going to lead you in a positive direction. Hope will, but fear will not. It will kill you from the inside out. It will keep you from fully engaging in your marriage. It will keep you from having any kind of happiness and peace in your life. Fear is not a healthy thing, because whether you're truly in danger, fear's purpose is to take you out of harm's way. Well, that's not the way to do it, to have you spinning in circles doing nothing but worrying yourself to death. That's not going to help you, nor is it going to help your marriage. So think about that. Answer your own what-if questions and see if that helps you pull yourself out of a spiral. I know these are tough concepts, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen. I really do hope this has been helpful to you. And if you like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll have more videos coming that address similar types of issues that we go through after we find out about the affair. And I do have a private Facebook group I'd love for you to join. It's just for women like us who have been through the trauma of the affair, and we're trying to move forward in a positive way. I'd love to have you join us. The link is below. I've also got some free materials below as well, so check them out. And in the meantime, I hope this is a great exercise for you. Good luck. Give it a shot, and feel free to comment below on how it went for you. Take care.